Hi, all you awesome third graders out there. Thanks for tuning in with me today. Today, our objective we are going to focus on is what is the central message theme of a text. Now, this is something we worked on in the beginning of the year, so hopefully most of you guys remember this. The central message is the lesson the author is trying to teach us. So, something we can take away from the story, something you can learn based on the story itself. We're going to be reading a fractured fairy tale. Now, we read a few earlier in the beginning of the year, and this one, a fractured fairy tale, is a story that's based on an original fairy tale, but they change it up a little bit. For instance, this changes, it's told by one of the characters in the story. Usually, in an original fairy tale, it's told by a narrator, so it's told in third person. However, a fractured fairy tale is told in first person because that person is in the story. So we're going to read a fractured fairy tale that's based off of Rapunzel. And if you have ever seen the movie Tangled too, that's also based off of Rapunzel. So our story is called Really Rapunzel Needed a Haircut. And it's told by Dame Gothel, who is the witch that ends up taking care of Rapunzel. So this story is written by Jessica Gunderston, and it's illustrated by Dennis Alonso. And our publishers are the Picture Window Books. So as Miss Candarin's reading, I want you to think about what could be the central message theme of this story. What lesson, based off of what the characters do and say, what lesson can you learn from this story? And today, I'm going to challenge you to add a piece of evidence, just like we do in our exit tickets. This is the first time I'm asking you to add a piece of evidence to your answer, and it just has to be one piece. And I know it's a little bit difficult because you don't have the book right in front of you. But again, your evidence it doesn't have to be exactly from the book, which is usually what Miss Candarin has you do. But a piece of evidence that you remember from the book that helps support your central message. Okay, so here, of course, silly Miss Candarin, we forgot our vocabulary. Now, some of this vocabulary might might look familiar to you because we've done them before. So our first vocabulary is the word craves. When you crave something, you really, really want it at that moment. So the sentence could be, on Thursday, I was really craving vanilla ice cream. So when you crave something, I just added a suffix, but it's the same meaning. So when you crave something, you really want something right at that moment. So for our motion, we're going to rub our bellies and go, mmm. So that's our motion for craves. Our next word is loneliness. And if you notice, it has one of our suffixes here. Ness means being, like happiness, being happy. So loneliness means being lonely. And if you notice, the root word lonely ends in Y. But when we add a suffix, when a word ends in Y and we want to add a suffix, change the Y to an I and add your suffix. Excellent. So our motion for loneliness, we are going to use words. We're going to say being lonely. Kind of cross your arms with a gloomy face. Being lonely. Excellent. Our next word, we've had this before, is the word content. When you are content, so this is an M&M word for happy. You're feeling glad. When you're content, though, you're not overly excited, but you're not gloomy either. You're just content. So our motion for content is I'm okay. Our motion, we're going to do that again for content, is I'm okay. Awesome. We have two more. Our next one is wailed. Okay. Our root word is to wail. When you wail, you cry very loudly. You might wail when you're feeling extremely gloomy, or you might also wail when you're feeling angry or frustrated. So we also notice our suffix ed. Ed is in the past, like laughed, to laugh in the past. Excellent. So our motion for wailed is going to be, you don't really have to yell if you don't want to. I did it because it can be pretty loud. Our last word, might be familiar, is leaped. And again, we have our suffix ed. To leap, which is our root word, means to jump forward. And we had this word before, so we ran with our fingers and then leaped. Kind of like you're jumping over something. You might leap from rock to rock on a river, or you might also leap if you're doing a dance as well. So let's go over our motion to our words. So craves, we're going to rub our bellies. And then loneliness, being lonely. Then we have content. I'm okay. Our next word, wailed. And then leaped. We're going to run and then jump. Awesome. So when you hear Miss Candarin reading those words, I want you to follow along with me and do those motions. All right. Here we go. So again, as I'm reading, I want you to think of what could be the central message theme of our story today? What lesson could you learn? Let me tell you, it's lonely being a witch. When folks find out what I am, they steer clear. That means they stay away. I have no friends at all, not one. It's unfair, really. A sweet girl with beautiful hair once lived with me, and I used to have a fantastic garden. Neither the girl nor the plants cared one whit that I was a witch. My flowers bloomed bright and tall. My radishes were to die for. But sadly, I haven't seen the girl or my garden in a while. It all started when a neighbor tried to steal my radishes. Here's how it went. My wife is going to have a baby, my neighbor stammered, and she craves your radishes. She swears if she doesn't get them, she'll just die. Okay, I said, but what will you give me in return? I can get a pretty penny for these at the farmer's market, you know. But I have no money, not a single dime, he whined. Maybe I'll give you our baby? We can always have more, I guess. Of course, I agreed. A baby would be better than gold. It would cure my loneliness. Being lonely. Oh my goodness, he's going to give them their baby. When the time came, the man brought baby Rapunzel to me. I raised Rapunzel as my own daughter and gave her anything she wanted from my garden. Turnips, potatoes, berries, cucumbers. But do you know what her favorite food was? Radishes. The girl had good taste. So these are radishes. They grow in the ground. All those vegetables helped Rapunzel's hair grow long and red. She sang sweet songs as she helped me tend the garden. The longer Rapunzel's hair grew, the more she loved it. She washed it and combed it and brushed it and braided it, and then she washed it again. You have no idea how much I spent on shampoo. One day, a group of neighbors gathered outside my garden. I heard them whispering, plotting, planning. This time, however, no one wanted to steal my radishes. Nope, They wanted to steal Rapunzel and use her hair for wigs. Wigs are what people put on top, maybe when they don't have a lot of hair. So I did what any mother would do. I locked the girl away in a tower. Rapunzel, let down your hair, I would call, and she would lean out of the window and wrap her hair around a hook. Then I'd climb up. We can think here already some text-to-text connections that you can make. What's happening in this story that might remind you of the other original Rapunzel story. Every day, without fail, I brought her vegetables from the garden. At first, she seemed content. I'm okay. But one day, she told me she was lonely. And if anyone knows how being lonely, how loneliness feels, it's me. How can I help? I asked. Bring me every mirror you can find, Rapunzel said. Then I can keep myself company. Think about how you would feel if you were locked in a tower all by yourself. Hauling a load of mirrors to the tower wasn't my idea of fun, but I did it anyway. I spent a week gathering every mirror in the village. Then I lugged them one by one into the tower. Let me tell you, it was not an easy task for an old witch like me. Thanks, Rapunzel said, but I don't need the mirrors anymore. I met a handsome prince. He climbs up every day to visit me. I wonder how that made the witch feel. What? I roared, my voice rattling the windows and shattering the mirrors. He's going to steal you away! I panicked. What could I do? How could I keep the prince away? In a blink, I grabbed Rapunzel's hair and chopped it off. Clumps of it. Rapunzel wailed. I admit, I felt a little bad. It'll grow back, I comforted. Short hair will be nice for the summer, cooler. But she would not stop crying. Let's go home, dear, I said. I'll make you a radish salad, okay? I fastened her hair clippings to the hook and we crawled down together. While Rapunzel chomped her salad, I returned to the tower and waited. Rapunzel, let down your hair, the prince called. I lowered Rapunzel's hair and the prince climbed up. I wonder what the witch is going to do. When the prince saw me, his eyes widened. I gave him my most evil cackle, like a laugh. I meant only to scare him a little, but he leaped out of the window and landed on some thorny bushes below. The poor boy staggered about, clutching his eyes. I was going to climb down and help him, but he did a terrible thing. He reached for Rapunzel's hair and yanked it from the hook. Then he ran away. Since then, I've been trapped in this tower. I tried to sing sweetly in hopes of rescue, but my voice is sour. I try to grow my hair long, but my split ends keep breaking off. Drat those mirrors for bringing me bad luck. A little bird told me Rapunzel and her prince got married. I'm sorry I missed the wedding. It sounded lovely. Do you know what the bride carried? A bouquet of radish roses. The end. Oh my goodness. Whew. All right. That was a funny story, wasn't it? So let's look here at some of the examples of what could be a lesson that you could learn from this story. I would really think about what the witch did in the story and what you could learn from that. You never know who's watching. Be careful what you wish for. Playing tricks can affect others. Taking the easy way out isn't always the answer. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Honesty is the best policy, or tell the truth. Cleverness can help you achieve things. And what goes around comes back around. So your sentence starter would be, I think the theme is, and it could be one of these, or you could absolutely make up your own. Tell why you chose that, and then try to think of one piece of evidence. What happened in our story that goes along with the central message? What did one of the characters do or say that helped you think of a lesson learned from this story? And try your best. Again, it doesn't have to be exactly from the story. The last thing I want to tell you, again, is to remind you about our raffle on May 1st. So every activity that you do, including this one, I'm going to put your name in a hat, and on May 1st, I'm going to pick 4 students' names to give them a special prize or prizes and give them to them at their house or mail them to their house. Some of you I've already gotten some great responses from. I've gotten some from Jayla and Shane and Shayna, Adrian. So great job sending me those, guys. Keep it up. And I can't wait to hear your responses for these. See you later. Bye.